Now, one thing a lot of people forget to think about is that these projects, they can take a little while to put in place, 6 months to a year. Typically, their benefits are going to happen over years, not just a short period of time. And as a result of that, there's frequently an issue with measuring costs now and benefits in the future. And that issue is called the time value of money. And the time value of money means that you need to compare your current costs in today's dollars against future benefits. Now, those future benefits need to be looked at in today's dollars. You've got to compare apples with apples. You've got to compare current time with current time. It's not okay to compare current time with future time. And that's called the time value of money. And the time value of money is actually a function in Excel. This is possibly a little bit difficult. There is a formula involved, but there's a formula in Excel to figure this out. And what it means is that $10,000 1 year from now is actually worth less than $10,000 now. It's called discounted. So $10,000 in a year time is actually, let's say, $9,500 today. And the way this works is actually reasonably simple. If you had $9,500 now and you invested it, how much money would you have in 1 year's time? Now, if I did my discounting correctly, if I gave the proper time value of money, $9,500 now in 1 year's time would be worth $10,000. If I could put it to work, invest in stocks, put it in a bank. If I'd done my discounting of $10,000 correct to today, the opposite is also true. I take $9,500 today and it'd be worth $10,000 in 1 year's time. That's how you figure out the time value of money. There is an Excel formula on how to do this. Am I going to explain the Excel formula? No, because you can look up how to do that on YouTube. But let me show you a spreadsheet on how to think about all the pieces. And I'm going to walk through the different aspects of this spreadsheet. So this is the Pine Valley Furniture Economic Feasibility Analysis. And what I can see here is that we have a project that has benefits that extend over 5 years. Now you could say, why 5 years? Well, let's not worry about that. We're just going to look at the next 5 years. That's the time horizon that we've decided to look at the benefits and costs of this project. And so the first line is we have our 5 years laid out in columns. Then the first row is the net economic benefit. How much money, what are the tangible and intangible benefits that we will get from using this project? And they are listed out here at $50,000 per year. The thing is, though, some of those are in the future. And so what we need to do is we need to discount those 1 year, 2 year, 3 year benefits all the way back to current amounts of money. That will allow us to compare apples to apples. And so what we need to do is discount our future benefits to today's money. Now, this particular spreadsheet uses the discount rate of 12%. That was probably true when this book was written. It's another reason I hate textbooks. So this book was probably written back in 1995. And back in 95, a good discount rate was 12%. And remember, a discount rate is also the same as an investment rate, as in what is my annual return? If I invest a certain amount of money, how much can I make in 1 year's time? And the number they've got here is 12%. There's no way you can get 12% anymore. Typically, discount rates or investment rates that we use are based on Treasury bills. And so a US Treasury bill is an insanely safe way to put money away. Basically, you give the US government money and they give you interest back. And the US government's considered a pretty decent payer of their interest and principal, which is the amount you gave them. So 12% would mean if you gave them $100 in 1 year's time, they would give you $112 back. And so that's a 12% interest rate or a 12% discount rate, depending on how you look at it. Looking forward is interest rate, looking backwards is a discount rate. And so when you are doing your calculation, which you'll need to do, I would encourage you to look up the US Treasury bill interest rates. They're about 1% these days. Actually, they might even be less. They might be even 0.5%. We're at a phase of the economy where the time value of money actually is very low, as in we don't discount much. We can't earn much. We can't earn much safely. You can invest in the stock market, and on average, you'll make 6%, but that is really risky because it changes all over the place, as we well know. Treasury bills are a guaranteed rate of return, so that's what we would use that discount rate. Anyway, this spreadsheet uses 12%. You will not be using 12%. You'll be using somewhere closer to 1%. And all they've done is used a formula, which you can look up in Excel, to discount each year. So year 5's worth of money discounts to a current value of money. And that's all they've done in this spreadsheet. And then, so that gave you a present value of the benefits for each year you've made what you would get in the future. You've shown what it would be worth right now. Then the next line is so that's the net present value of the benefits. It turns out there's no one-time benefits, or you've shown them in year 0. Then there's the next, so that's the net present value of benefits. Then on line, 13, we have one-time costs. So the current one-time costs, we explain what one-time costs were. Then we have recurring costs going forward, and we discount the recurring costs from year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and year 5. We discount those to present value. So everything's being looked at apples to apples in net present value, the current value of money. So we have net economic benefits discounted, the future cash flows are discounted to give us a present value. Then we have our one-time costs, future costs, which we discount the future costs, so we make sure we're looking at apples to apples. And then, would you believe, we have a total sum for all the costs. And then what we need to do, of course, is we do one minus the other, cost-benefit analysis. We do benefits minus costs, and that should give us, if we're going to do this project, a positive number. And that's called the net present value. Net as in costs minus benefits. That's why it's called net. Cost-benefit analysis, net, benefits minus costs. Present value as in we've discounted everything into today's money. So that's NPV, net present value. And then, so that's a critical number. If that's not positive, no go on the project, or potentially no go on the project, I could say. We might still do a project even if it's going to lose us money, because we might have to do it for regulations, we might have to do it for stakeholders. It might cost us money to show that we're being socially responsible, responding to climate change. We might have to just do it, even though it costs us money. So please don't think that you have to have a positive net present value for a project to proceed. You may not. And then we can just run a quick calculation, which is called ROI, return on investment. And that's the overall net present value, which we just calculated. Remember, net present value was benefits minus costs, but all done in discounted cash flows, as in all done with money in today's money value. So we take the overall net present value and we divide it by the total net present value of costs. So it's the basically net benefits minus costs over all the costs. And that gives us a return on investment, as in how much return do we get for the cost that we put in. And this particular one comes out at, so that's 35,000 divided by 145,000. So that's a 24% return on investment. That's really good. As in we're getting a return of 24%. Now, if we were discounting cash flows at 12%, remember 12% is how much we could invest money at right now, and in 1 year's time, it would earn us 12%. If If we have a project that's kicking off 24% return on investment, that's really good. It's double the money we could earn just by sticking the money in the bank. That's why that ROI is so important. And indeed, you will hear these terms as you are working with clients. They will say what frequently you will hear, certainly from an executive level, what the ROI of a project is. So you may hear the chief information officer talking about the ROI and what the number is. That's what he or she is saying. They are telling you how good the return on the money is. And it really should be better than what you can earn by sticking the money in the bank. Well, sticking the money in the bank these days earns you less than 1%. So it turns out it's really easy to get good ROIs these days, or is it really easy to justify a project based on the ROI? Stick money in the stock market, you'll get around 6%. So most people, when they're looking at a project, are looking for at least 6% return on investment. As in, we stuck our money in this project, we'd make more than putting our money in the stock market, which is pretty much the best place your best returns on investment these days are in the stock market. Sticking your money in a bank makes you, 1%. Sticking your money in the stock market on average makes you 6%. So hopefully your project makes you more than 6%. And then down on line 24 here, we have something called break-even analysis. And a break-even analysis shows you when you break even. That is, it shows you when your benefits match and start to exceed your costs. So a break-even analysis basically shows you how long it takes you to start making money. And obviously that's an important number. Just like the return on investment here for this thing was 24%, way more than we could get from sticking the money in the stock market or the bank. 24% is great. Break-even analysis shows us when we start to make money. And so all you do to get the break-even, to do a break-even analysis is you look at basically benefits minus costs each year. So in the first year, we have no benefits, right? It's a brand new system. We just don't get any benefit, but we definitely have those one-time costs. So year one, we have a break-even. We lose money. We have costs only. Then the second year, and we always compare the net present value. Everything's done in today's money, of course. We just take the benefits minus costs for year two, the benefits minus costs for year three. All right. But we have to keep rolling them up. So this, hopefully you can look at the calculations there and figure out how this works. But a break-even analysis takes the benefits minus costs in year zero right at the start. Usually zero benefit, very few benefits, lots of costs. And then, of course, as we put the project in place, we start getting benefits and the costs typically go down because we've built the project now. And then we just take the cumulative, as in we add all that stuff up. And over time, our benefits keep building up. Our costs may have started off high and they keep going up just a little bit. Our benefits start off low and our benefits keep racking up. And there comes a point in time when the cost that we have matched and exceeded by all the benefits that have built up by this time. This little calculation shows you when that happens. And in this particular case, it comes at, I think, in year 2.4, as in between year 2 and 3 is when we flip from overall total costs to overall total benefits, as in if we add all our costs and benefits up each year and keep running that total. In year 2, when we add up all the costs through the end of year 2, we have a net cost, as in our costs still exceed our benefits. But by the time we get to the end of year 3, our total benefits less our total costs at that point start being positive. All right, that's called the break-even point. It comes between year 2 and year 3. And you can actually do just a quick calculation to figure out exactly which month that happens. That's called a break-even analysis. 2.4 years, that means it's 2.4 years before we start making money on this project. And again, that's an important thing to think about, right? The shorter that period of the break-even analysis, the better it is. The quicker we break even, the less time we have to, incur costs, because typically costs have to be financed. And so someone has to raise the money to get that done. And as soon as we can start paying that back and making money, that's good for a company. So that is feasibility analysis. Certainly the economic feasibility analysis is done in a spreadsheet and is a critical component of whether a project gets done or not. It's a critical component of whether you get to do the work you're doing. And I think it's really important for you to understand how you get to do the job you're doing.